Just going in and deepening up all the contours I kind of want to accentuate. What she's done, it's like jelly bake. Yeah, I'm feeling really good about that. I am really impressed with Jack's vocab. It is seamless. What's this got to do with the age? So I've always been judged by how I look. It really kind of destroyed me for a long time. I used to believe before I had it.
No, they know Nancy. Let's go, best friend. Kitchens is a pressing cone, best friend. And he freestyling today, girl.
I love it.
He didn't know it was a whole ocean something.
But she can do birds all over her face. That's okay.
What was the thing?
It was do something that's like an emotional thing to you, or tell you have a story about yourself.
Okay, time's up. Brush it down. Please take your models next door to get photographed. Jack, please come forward. I feel like I've been
With your hair.
judged by everyone was before they got to know me. So I wanted to freedom within. This is one of the most professional looking bobcats I've seen. And I am living for that.
Oh, you got 12 inches. You want like a little natural pony look.
Yeah, I don't want no super duper.
Not super duper.
I just need to be halfway cute for a good week. I got the Dominican Republic. I'm not sure if that's
I just did this girl hair for DR, but she got a wig.
Did she? I can't do that. It's too hot.
Yeah, she got a wig.
Like a wavy wig or what?
She ain't got a pink, it was pink and purple.
Oh, that's cute.
Straight.
I don't know what I want. I feel like I want something that looks like I'm back in Puerto Rican. Like I want some body wave or beach curl.
You want to look Dominican.
Right. Something big.
Yeah, I went to Punta Cana. I had a shortcut.
Oh, how was that?
But, girl, I knew it wasn't going to last, so I had about a wig just because. So I had threw my little wig on. Girl, it was just hot. And then one drunk night, you go to sleep, it's over with. Then you can't be doing too much when you got a wig.
was thinking about the taboo subject of so when it's given a message, just be you and express yourself how you want to. This is clumsy. I'm expecting a lot more from you.
Oh, yeah, they're lying.
She's a way better work than this. I don't know what's going on.
I like your story, Johnny, but to me it looks like an ad for potential parlor. Last week you just nailed it. The little lackluster. Difficulty is we want to see that great makeup artist each and every week. Great.
Right, Shorty, you need to get it together.
When a bird feels trapped, it wants to fly away. For the longest time growing up, I felt similar. There is a real painterly quality to it. Gorgeous brushstrokes, really lovely blending. I am really happy with this look. The story's interpretation speaks for itself, and it's great draftsmanship. So well done. Thank you. Thank you very much. Riley, please come forward. When I was in school, I felt very lost in, so I made the bold decision to drop out, and ever since I found my freedom. This makeup would work really well in theatre because there's a lot of product on the skin. You put a flesh-toned powder on top of the makeup, and that flattened the whole thing out. Your makeup is very nice and pretty. Start thinking beyond.
There we go. I like
This way you can expand.
Hey, y'all.
Debbie, please come forward. Featuring a look inspired by the goddess Kali. This look is a love letter to all the women in my life. I love this image. I love the graduation of colours. I would like to have seen a more seamless blend from the pink through to the yellow and taking it under the chin. It's lovely and it's well executed. It's beautiful. Thank you. It's your turn.
Oh my God.
What that was.
What they supposed to be looking like?
I am disappointed.
What are they supposed to be looking like?
They describing their story. They telling a story about
That
themselves.
looks like cancer.
I don't know what they are.
Somebody on fire.
Right? They say that's the mannequin here behind, you know how they say weird head. So it's like they don't
Feminism. I wanted to incorporate Celtic war paint and the colours of the suffragette flag. I do see the story in here. Beyond that, it's slightly disappointing because it is quite a simple makeup. I'm totally going to disagree with Tom. I think this makeup is flawless. Girl, you know how to lay down colour, and that really impresses me. I love her. Gothic, Celtic, suffragette woman. Go girl. Thanks everyone. If you'd like to go next door, myself, Val and Les will be deciding which of you will be in the face-off elimination. Let's start with Elliot. You've got Rebecca that's not brilliantly
I
done.
hope they're in the background. You know, we got all we get is one chance to mess up.
Shellfish, allergic
Here we
reaction,
go.
and I say
She did propose the first two times.
I just don't think it's enough to be the same. But I think we should also discuss Hannah. This is an accomplished makeup artist.
Do they have to do organs? Something to do with
It's
organs?
just sloppy.
I don't know.
Sometimes
But the one did an Indian dye, but that's not really no
seat, but
body part.
it's still got to be good. This was meant to be a heart, so at least create a technically detailed heart in the right place and put it in the right place. Donnie is a great artist. I liked her skin. I just think this is a little bit simple. I know that she's got so much more to give. Elliot and Sama, you started the day off in the face-off chairs. Elliot, your look just didn't tell a story, and it lacked dimension. It just fell flat. Unfortunately, you didn't do enough to beat the scene, so therefore you will be the first anyway, going into the face-off elimination. Sama, although you did bring us a big makeup look, the technical attention to detail was missing, and it ended up messy. So therefore, you will be joining Elliot in the face-off elimination.
She's gonna go home because this her stuff. Yeah, like it's time for you to go. Oh, I like her hair.
Cool.
Say your goodbyes now.
The host.
Oh yeah,
I
I
like
said that too.
that.
I think she got some real cute body frames.
Yeah.
She Indian.
She Indian.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
Yes, she is.
She said,
I You can tell. Look at her again when she ain't got her makeup on. She's not black.
Just not here yet.
I thought she was
She
mixed with
said
black.
something on one part of this when the guy did something about his Indian heritage.
Hmm.
Now this week was all about
Oh, that's the good one when they got
and
twins
one
to
way to stand
decorate.
out and make a statement is with a jewel lip.
Yeah, so ain't no discrimination. One face, Y'all had the same page. That was right. I wonder who thought of it. And so don't nobody say no to us.
This is all about precision, balance, but most importantly, symmetry.
Off you go. What they gotta do? A red lip?
Rhinestone.
He was in That's Craig. He was in the bottom too. Well, he had the red chair.
That's Elliot. That's Elliot. The other one was They look alike.
I like her. But you see, his off. It's off the. Hers is lined the lip perfect. Yeah, I like hers. It's neater.
Yeah. I just wish she would have used smaller rhinestones or something. She was all giant ass.
She still in that space. She didn't need to do it.
Oh yeah, that's a little better.
The same. Way better. She gonna get so.
Girl, it take them 2 minutes to deliberate.
Mm-hmm.
This person gonna get on.
That's how the beauty industry and fashion world work.
That's so crazy.
You got one time messed up, you was out, and now they decide that real quick.
I see.
It's like, no, that's not what I asked for back.
It's like she died. She taking them little shitty ass.
Yeah.
Summer, you worked efficiently. We liked how you start and center and built out. That's clever. It's a creative balance. Now we asked for balance, precision, symmetry. Elliot, you didn't hit all three. We're gonna keep going.
She going home?
He going home.
Oh, they said Ellie.
This competition is really tough. The talent gets better and better, so the stakes get higher and higher. It's tough to get to the top. I never want to do that again, but you know what? I said that last week, and look where I am today. I will tell you that's how it is. Me staying here will better my artistry and what I produce. So I
Girl, you better get it together. You got one more time to be in that bottom.
took a lot.
This is just like Top Model.
Mm-hmm.
Look at her. She's in
My
there.
mother was the blueprint.
She took her weave out.
I don't know.
She's something.
She's strong. I'm gonna look at it.
It's like one of my favorite shows, and I'm really one of my favorite movie films, so like this is exactly what I want to do. The MUAs will be meeting me here at one of the Crown's most stunning locations in the Hertfordshire countryside. We want to look. Queen Elizabeth. Welcome to my humble abode. Just for a weekend. Come on in. Oh my god, it's really sitting in such a big house. It really feels like you're stepping back in time. It's so crazy to be on the set with Crown. Joining Glow Up's resident judges, Val Garland, Dominic Skinner, is the Crown's lead hair and makeup designer, Kate Holland. Welcome everybody. Today you'll be designing period looks from the series for a screen test. We need you to create looks that deliver an authentic, recognisable character from the show. But this is not about copying an image. We need you to look at your previous life-changing opportunity in store. But any way that delivers the best look is going to get to work on the crown with Kate. Good luck, everybody. It's literally just so unbelievable. I know, it's crazy. With 2 hours until our screen test, just give you to kind of brief. Each MUA has been assigned an actor and a character brief. Straight from some of the Crown's most iconic scenes. This look is for the scene in which Queen Elizabeth II attends Churchill's funeral to say a faithful goodbye. Margaret Thatcher was known for traditional beauty makeup and a muted red hair. Dolly and Sophie have been assigned Margaret Thatcher from 2 different eras. With Dolly tackling the 1940s. Do you have any experience in period makeup? Do you know the 40s? I know it's around like the war era, so I know a lot of women were doing men's jobs. While Crown superfan Sophie must transform her actor into a 65-year-old Thatcher. So what do you think of this assignment then? I've done period makeup before. Okay. In my first year at uni, I really like the idea of being able to transform someone into someone else. What techniques are you getting in to get the job done? Having everything ready to go is really helpful for me.
I think I removed them. I'll put them back up. I gotta go and edit them. We miss y'all too. I'll be back in a bit. Don't worry.
This book is for a scene in which a young Diana returns from a walk in the cold in autumn of 1980.
We gotta finish the crown. Cause that's what I was watching it just so I could see Diana. I was on like season 3.
Choosing products that reflect the period they've been given.
Yeah, I know you gotta stop. That's what's taking me so long. You be having to keep going back. Like, whoa, wait, hold on. Especially when they switch queens and she be getting older. My what? I'm gonna lie. Yeah.
Working on 2 quintessential Princess Margaret looks. Alex. My brief Princess Margaret just came back from holiday, so I imagine it's still looking a little bit drier. And Savvy. When I heard pastel colours, I saw this pastel blue dress. I was very excited. Hi, Savvy. Hi, nice to meet you. I read the brief, and she's going through a rocky road with her husband. So I want to incorporate maybe some still glam, but she's a little bit tired. And what about in terms of her features? Is there anything you're accentuating particularly? Yes, so I've just had really nice lips, so I want to accentuate those, but not be too modern and overline them. Just so good. I was so positive, but I realised how therapeutic it was for me. In school, I was bullied recklessly. I would have such a wall up, and when I first started dabbling in makeup, I was able to put my feelings into a picture and put it onto my face and actually realize I am good at something and I am worth something. So I think that's why I really gravitated towards makeup. I've got the eyes and I just have the foundation to do now. What do you think about Zappy, who's doing Princess Margaret?
I keep wondering how boys are getting information.
Boys be doing way better than a lot of
Because girls got ways of doing things that they like to do, especially on your face. My teacher always told me a man gonna be better at hair and makeup than a woman because no, women you gotta break habits and then teach them stuff. And it's like we know it's preferences with us. With a man is once you teach him a way, this is the way that he's gonna always know. He only knows. So if he know, oh, she got this certain face, I should do this. Not the girl be like, yeah, I should do this, but I feel like you look better. And it's we always based off what we like. Mm-hmm. Our preference. They got based off what you need.
Sama has been tasked with recreating a Queen Elizabeth II look from 1965. Can you talk me through what you're finding difficult? Obviously, my model has really thin brows, so I've kind of thickened them up and pushed the head down to fill the gap. Use those techniques and where is it best not to? Hey everyone, I need your actors in 1 hour for their screen test. know, I took inspiration from the images. I love the images. The Queen has kind of a very kind of light under eye. And I really wanted to show that, kind of bringing that lightness, that bright colour under the eye. And then I'm going to go in with my powders, and I'm really going to powder her out.
I think I am going to do a little bit of social stories. It's windy.
So Riley, she's doing Princess Diana from the 1980s. So far, I like her style and I like the face, so I'm excited to see where the eye makeup goes, and hopefully it'll be the right shape for Diana. Is there any special tips you have for Diana? Yes, in the early 80s we kept her eyes shaped very round. Jo Ryan said she would look out from under her fringe and she'd look, yes, naive and innocent. Is that right, please? Okay, just try that. Show that for me. She's chosen some lovely tones, blusher and eyeshadow that feel quite appropriate to Thatcher. They're a bit broadly applied, so I'm hoping we get a bit more of a distinct shape.
My model's lip shape is more of a pointed Cupid's bow, where Margaret Thatcher's is much more direct, and so I'm trying to alter her lip shape.
Like they look for real makeup artists. That's how I was when I went to Pittsburgh.
She's recently come from holiday, so her skin might be dry and cloggy from the aeroplane. And actually, that's not going to look great on film. 5 minutes, everyone. Okay, time's up, everybody. Active. I'm going to be calling you through. She made some good decisions with the eye makeup she used. Quite soft and matte neutral tones, which I think is correct for the time.
If I'm honest, I see more Maggie Thatcher, and I think it's probably because of the brows.
So this is Jack's actor, and she's playing Queen Elizabeth in 1986 on a state visit to China. Such an intense amount of powder. It's just really distracting.
And also the blush. It's a very modern placement, you know, it's on the diagonal.
Yeah, if this makeup came out on the set of The Crown, it would have to go back. This is Craig's actress who is playing Princess Diana in 1989. You can see from the colour palette, it's the 1980s. I actually think Craig's done a really good job.
Texture, it all feels right.
It feels authentic. You can
Oh,
forget
that
about
wig,
makeup and let her perform. So this is Riley's actress who is playing Princess Diana in 1980. It doesn't scream 1980s to me. I would have liked to have seen her be confident about leaving skin bare and conceal where necessary.
It's just a little too much of everything. Makeup is a spectrum. There is no makeup, and then there is full B. I don't think Riley knows where to put the pendulum.
So this is Dolly's actress who's playing Margaret Thatcher in 1947.
Oh, they did a good
There's no sort
job.
of modern trappings there. I don't feel like she's been tripped up by her own kind of sense of style and aesthetic.
This is telling me it's Post-war, I don't see any foundation. I see a little ruddiness in the cheek.
This is an excellent interpretation of period makeup. I just wish that it wasn't shiny.
I would say, imagining that she'd had a dust of powder before she went on camera, that this really is good enough to be on set on The Crown. This
Okay,
is Sophie's
yeah.
actress. She is
Oh,
playing Margaret Thatcher
no, that's
in
the
the
black
early
one.
90s, at the end of her reign
I
as Prime
think the
Minister.
first one
I
was.
think she's got
Oh,
a
yeah,
little
yeah, it
red,
was.
Black girl did
which
good.
is a
Yeah.
really lovely sign
Period.
that someone's not sleeping,
She
that
did
they're
good.
distressed. One thing I would
Killing
say
the
is, if you
game.
look at the definition in Margaret Thatcher's makeup in the period, I think she's had a slightly more defined top highlight.
I think we need a bit more definition on the eye. If that came up on the telly, I would go, let's make that change.
What time
So
is
this
it?
is Abby's actress.
12.
She's playing Princess Margaret in 1963. This
He's
has just
done
gone too far.
That kind of
I'm in a rush.
on the eyes did not exist then. It was much
Try
more
to put some eyelashes to put on.
I kind of like this makeup, but in an
eyelash
editorial way,
appointment
it's
or
magazine
just a regular
worthy.
eyelash?
I
No,
don't
an
know
appointment.
if it is TV worthy.
For the drama,
The same day
we're
appointment?
only hoping
Girl,
to
I'ma try.
deliver the performance of
I'ma
her
try.
part, and I think that's what's happening here.
I
I
know.
need to get in contact with my girls.
I've been stalking my one friend. She do a really good job, but she been booked up to tell me to check with her this afternoon. That's why when you said come early, I said perfect.
She's been
Yeah.
on holiday.
She
with
might
her
have
I
a-
had this girl,
She's on the point of a
I'll be
breakdown.
calling the night before to
Yeah,
confirm.
right.
And
There is just
the number, it was like the number you're trying to reach is not in service.
Oh, she didn't have a real number.
I'm like, oh no,
That
if I
ain't
can't
work.
contact you, I don't know what to tell you.
Having returned on an aeroplane, so giving her sort of
So that's when I had the 10 o'clock open. So I was gonna move.
A little bit of
Should I tell you my friend that just
tan
came?
on the face would be
Up.
enough to explain.
So she had the 12:45.
Oh yeah.
But she
Well,
was like, I'm
anyways,
about to be
one has been
asleep.
very impressive.
I
Let's
was
shoot
like,
today.
alright, well, I'm
I
gonna
was
call the
really
next
blown
person
away
on
by
this
the way
next
some of
year.
you
That
paid
works.
attention to detail, created authentic period looks.
I would happily come early.
I was really impressed by the way you used history to underpin your choices. Sophie, I was really impressed
This
by the
girl
way
must
you
do
used
a lot. I
an
swear
80s
she
colour
got
palette
that
to
ID
create a
coat
3D
look.
character. For this reason,
That
both
girl
of you
here.
will be coming to assist me.
She won.
Yep. Her, she won.
I'm
The black
so
girl.
wrong. I'm so proud of myself.
That's like a second win now.
Where she went?
Then she went first one when she did the
I
Wakanda look.
I thought that damn, what
I just thought
that's her competition though, Sophie.
Mm-hmm.
Cause that's the girl who did that mask on her
Yeah.
face. She said she got autism. No, she got
Asperger's or something.
she got autism. I think the other boy got
Now
Asperger's.
wait until
Okay.
tomorrow morning to discover who will start the creative brief in the face-off chairs and at risk of elimination.
Jack just made a sort of foolish decision to push it so far it has become an out-and-out caricature.
I do feel that it's gone to pantomime. The brows just ruined it to the summer because it's such a modern brow.
Brows are sort of unforgivable and they scream 2021.
And someone we also need to discuss is Sally.
It's just way too much, and if it came out on the set of The Crown, it would be sent back immediately. So should we talk about Alex, who was doing Princess Margaret?
I mean, there's just so much tan, fasting tan
Yeah, what
going
is
on there.
that?
It's an
Why would he
itch
brown
thing.
that lady out like that?
Anyone watching the TV series would be massively distracted by the look.
It's nerve-wracking to think that it could be me
She
in the
finna
bottom.
go home.
I hope I've done enough.
She definitely finna go home. Honey.
At Glow Up Studios, the
Getting the
Emmys
red
are about to
seat.
find out who will start the creative brief in the face-off chairs, meaning they're headed for the face-off elimination at the end of the day.
Jack.
You can do it.
We knew
So,
she was
see,
going
I
to
need to go get me some coffee.
You guys are in the face-off chairs, which means you have 15 minutes left
to complete your creative brief.
I don't know.
You copied the image rather than interpreted it, and as a result, your character looked like they were in the wrong period. Alex, you chose to concentrate on drying out your character's skin rather than emphasizing the more emotional aspects of the narrative. As a result, all I can see is makeup.
You always got something. I know you got a dress
The
or
only way for
sundresses. It's
Jack
gonna
or
be 80
Alex to
something.
beat the
It's
scene
nice out.
is to blow the judges' minds with their creative
A little
brief.
short set or something.
Today, we want you to turn your model into a living piece of art, influenced by your favorite artist or artistic movement. Okay, I'm you have 2.5 hours to
It's
transform
2 hours.
the
See, that's
model
the problem.
from
We turn into a
canvas
shut-in.
to
We
a
need to get out
masterpiece.
some.
Are you ready?
That's why I said I'm gonna do brunch with
Bring
this
in the
girl
models.
tomorrow. It's peeing for a little bit.
Yeah, my models.
Yes.
That's what we got.
I don't feel like talking to nobody. I don't feel like.
Jack and Alex, I'll let you know when your 15 minutes are up. The rest of you, your time starts
I can't stand
now.
you. That's exactly how it is.
Creative brief.
That's
The
exactly
MOAs
how
and
it
allow
Look just like
design
it.
elements.
Okay, girl, look at you.
I'm gonna touch out them kids.
The artist that I was
Okay,
by
let me
is
see.
Leon Bax. He was a Russian
Let's take
costume
her.
designer.
Oh,
So
what's
these are
that
two of my
My look is based on the artist Leonid Afimov. He paints with spatulas and he's known for like bright, bold colours.
So mine is based on the Cubist movement. I've also then got inspired by a British artist named Helen Beer, and she looks at, gender roles and male gaze and eroticism, and it depicts two people kissing.
Hello, Jack.
Hi, mate.
How you feeling?
Not bad, yeah. As soon as that 15 minutes is up, I know exactly where I'm gonna go.
So did you expect this, or is this like a shock?
I kind of didn't expect it, but then as soon as I heard what they said, as soon as I heard like critique, I completely get it. It was a bit more patchy like me. It was a little bit kind of over-exaggerated.
He be
And I feel
killing
like
me. I
I'm
like
just
him
gonna
though.
hang out with this one and make sure that I do something good.
It's okay for me to spray it white. Yeah. My favourite artist is Ian MacArthur, and he's a very famous illustrator, and he does illustrations with pen, ink, and it looks like a psychedelic effect. Okay, let's do the other side. If you just look at me, thank you.
That's nice. We can do it. Let's do it. Send someone else back.
Jack, Alex, your 15 minutes are over. You can start now.
Thank you. Go ahead.
The time goes so quickly.
So Sophie is matching her model's neck to a jumper.
I'm going to use string just to map out my model's face, just to make sure that I know where I'm going, what I'm doing.
This is clever. If they can get the lines straight. The problem is that you have a straight piece of string and a round face. So there comes a point where you have to stop and you have to actually do it by eye.
Can I put my Hellraiser for a minute? Cool.
Hey, Trina B.
Alex is rocking brows again.
At the minute, I'm just gluing down a brow. I know that first week, my brow cover on
Hey, y'all,
myself
what's
was
up?
shambolic. But look at my brows. I look at my gorgeous model's brows.
We will
I've
be
got
back
the brows of the
soon. See,
granddad.
we are in a new
She's got the brows of a supermodel, so this is going to go well.
location. I gotta fix the rest of this house, but that should be so stressful. Waiting on stuff to come in the
Hi,
middle.
sorry to disturb you. I'm just looking for makeup artist from the Crown. Is that,
You're my best friend.
I'm joking. How are you? You doing good?
Yeah, I'm okay.
So talk me through your look. Which artist were you inspired by?
Francis Bacon, and
Why?
because his faces are weird, and he was just a bit chaotic. He used to just chuck paint on himself and just be like, whatever. And I'm like, oh,
Should we do that now?
no, absolutely not.
Get English ears, summer, don't leave
Yeah,
it.
today is 31st. I should have though, because this is my last day drinking. I ain't drinking none of it.
Oh no.
30 minutes gone, guys.
Oh,
I'm gonna see if I can go 30 days.
I can't believe that time went so quick. I'm sort of freaking out now because I haven't got a base on yet.
Blocked out brows, and she's now sponging on white.
It looks quite chalky, which I quite like.
I'm just going to do the underneath of your eyes. That's incredible, Abby. Isn't it? So good.
Ooh, tattooing.
So my look is inspired by henna.
I like the look of that.
I want to know what Zabby would do. Although I
She
didn't
an artist,
credit
it's hard to do that.
yesterday, I thought he was technically a very good artist. Hello, everybody. What's this about? Another mask?
Wouldn't call it a mask, I'd call it a little fashion piece.
So another mask?
So I've chosen to do a look
Maybe
based
They
on
throwing so much shade, right?
in the Art Deco period. And these are two of his most famous pieces of work. So I decided to do a half and half kind of like mask.
Yeah.
You were right.
It's okay, you don't have to go against it.
You were right, yeah.
That's your bag.
Yeah.
Right,
So,
but the way you said it.
Create the dimensions of painting, but
Another
also
mask.
clothing.
Turn that head back for me. Thank you.
My look is based on Claude Cahun. They were non-binary queer artists that played with gender and image and reclaiming the way you're perceived.
She gonna lose, I can see it.
Talk me through it. What is this design?
So this design is inspired by Clive Lawson. He's a artist that I actually cared for. He's a good friend of mine. Yeah. Passed away last year in October, so I wanted to honour him in this look.
Oh, don't forget, y'all can still order y'all cups.
I love the way Sam is using her spatula to create texture. Very nice, it's useful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's not about makeup, it's about art, creating art. I'm actually really enjoying spatula art. It's freeing. You're like a bird.
1 hour up, guys.
Oh my god. This will have to do like everything with black, add the shade in detail, put on a wig, spray it, and make it look all at once.
Two faces looking at each other.
Oh, you can see the face, you can see the face, there's the face.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, so straight.
Oh, God.
My arm is starting to ache. So I'm having to be so careful with the line. I'm actually holding my breath when I'm working, so I'm like, you know, like, then I stop, I breathe, and then we go again.
She doing henna. That's the one doing henna.
I'm just hoping the shade and the black outline is really going to bring it to life. So, yeah, I'm kind of stressed over the time, but keep it going, you know. It's definitely not the image I had in my head, but I'm just trying to do my best.
Do stay on. Somewhere, someone's granny is missing some brooches. She's going to be really angry.
There we go. Yeah.
To say this is phenomenal. You know, it's Francis Bacon through and through. It's just so arty.
I keep forgetting to breathe. 30 minutes left, guys.
Have you ever wanted to know what stress feels like? What's this?
Let's try Elise. Let's just try. I've done this technique before to do dots, but I'm trying to bring in more elements of what the judges liked in the first week.
These dots, they just feel too random.
It does really require absolute precision. You can't have leading edges and different sized dots, and it really needs to be graphic and bold and crisp and precise.
Oh, well.
She was like, right, it's going to She needs a guard. Oh yeah, let's put a great big heavy towel all over my makeup.
They won't hug on, I can see it.
I feel like it's quite fun.
I'm afraid I've done enough.
Time is up. The rush is down. Please take your models next door to be photographed.
So Craig, please come forward. So Craig, can you explain your...
I was trying to move it forward.
I think it's fantastic because your model has become a piece of art. I really
So they
love
can
it.
get into this,
However,
the magic.
I get the two people looking at each other, but I get the person on the left more than I get the person on the right.
The reason why it's difficult to see the faces is because you drew it as it's drawn on the painting. But when you draw curved shapes on a curved shape, it goes straight. So you almost have to over-exaggerate lines to create curves, because otherwise they look straight. Overall, I love it. I think it's great.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Jack, could you step forward?
So I have gone for Clive Wilson. I cared for him in the care home that I worked in. So I wanted to kind of pay homage to his work and kind of do something fun.
I think it's a really solid piece of work, and I really like your use of colour. If I were being hypercritical, I think there are some curved lines where ideally everything would be absolutely straight.
The only thing you can do to get straight lines on a face is to do it by eye. Curved lines on a curved surface create straight lines.
Opposite.
Opposite to what happened with Craig. Saying that, you have got such goosebumps. You have got such amazing nuances within your colours. It's like the most amazing patchwork quilt. It's genius.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Molly, would you like to come up?
So my artist was Ian MacArthur, an illustrator who works with ballpoint pen.
You overbaked the cake with the base. If you'd done a simple, flawless skin texture base, it would have felt more like an illustration.
Yeah.
I think it has potential. I just don't think you've executed it as a design, probably in the way you wanted to.
Thank you guys.
Alex, could you step forward?
My look is based on the work of Claude Kenyon, a queer artist from the 1920s that messed with the ideas of gender and femininity.
I don't really see you subverting any gender stereotypes. The moustache feels a bit like a sort of token masculine element in what is otherwise an ultra-feminine makeup. I'd have liked to have seen maybe some masculine shading.
As soon as you stuck those lashes on, it suddenly went a little bit showgirl. We wanted to see something more artistic.
Thank you. Riley, please come forward.
My look is actually inspired by henna. I just have such a love for this art form because of its fine details, the flowers, and I think it's just so beautiful.
Precision, precision, precision. I love the detail. I love the line work. It is so poetic. It truly is graphic. It's amazing. But you didn't need the gold leaves. You didn't need it, girl. You just didn't need it.
I was just thinking, and right at the end I thought, meh, here we go.
No, that cheapens the look. It was standing proud on its own.
I mean, this isn't masterclass in line work. There is, I mean, there's a tiny little line. Like, how you did that, I will never know. It is so detailed.
Thank you very much. Sally, please step forward.
She's steady getting sad.
I was heavily inspired by Russian artists and bats. His designs are quite haunting, and I liked the fact that they come from a costume design perspective.
This colour, where it's a bit yellowy, it's a bit browny, that's interesting. And if we look at the blue, there's this deep blue and slightly metallic blue. That's interesting. But it's two different stories going on and there's no connection. It doesn't make sense.
When you got the braid out, that felt like Auntie Nora's needlework cushion. It was just too literal.
At the beginning, when you were doing that shading, I was quite excited. It felt quite iridescent, it was texturally interesting, it was sort of translucent, but I don't think it's really saying anything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sophie, do you mind stepping forward?
The artist that inspired me today was Francis Bacon.
I loved seeing you use watercolour, mixing it on your hand so you could get the fullness of the colours to create this three-dimensional shading. It's watercolour to mimic watercolour, and I think that's wonderful.
I absolutely adore this. For me, this is more than makeup. This is a painting. It's just incredible. And for that, you better dig it on. That is amazing! Amazing! I love it! I love it!
Summer.
So the artist that inspired me was Leonid Afimov. I fell in love with his story because he paints with colours that makes you feel like there's a tree, there's an ocean, there's happiness, there's sadness, and I really resonate with that.
I got one question. Where have you been hiding this? This is amazing. I'll be honest, you've not been showing much to me. It's been a little bit pedestrian, and this is anything but pedestrian.
A little bit pedestrian.
And the addition of the string, this finishes the look. There's something really crafty and freeing about it.
You've really
She
turned
finally
your
redeemed
model
herself.
into a work of art. Love the fact that you used a spatula only. There wasn't a makeup brush in sight because you don't need a makeup brush to do makeup. I think it is incredible, and for that you get a ding dong, darling. I want it. You brought it, girl. You brought it. Thank you.
I'm gonna cry.
So thank you guys. Please go next door whilst Kate, Dom and myself decide who is going in to the face-off elimination.
Oh, I'm good. So we have got Alex.
This makeup would look great in a vaudeville play. It's just not the right makeup for this brief.
So has she done enough to beat the seat?
No. To get out of that seat, you've got to work really hard. You've got to bring it.
The other anyway that started today in the face-off chair was Jack. There's a lot of work in this. Jack has mixed every single colour on here. That takes time.
It photographs really well. I buy it.
Has Jack done enough to beat the seat?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's 10 out of 10 for effort, don't you?
Yeah, I really agree. That is not an easy thing to pull off.
Well, in that case, we need to find someone to replace them.
I'd like to talk about Dolly. Nothing's well done. That gap under the eye, is that intentional? It's bled out.
Oil and oil makes an
Oh
oily
my
mess.
girl.
I know, they coming for her.
It's 7 a.m. at the Mardi Gras.
But was she the worst in the room today? I think we need to look at Zabby.
It's not really an interpretation. It's a very literal depiction of some pattern and fabric.
Makeup can be so creative.
Automatically
so
rooting for the
diverse.
black
You can do
chick.
so much stuff with it, and he's just almost giving me 2 dimensions.
If I'm in the face-off elimination,
If you damn
I'm gonna
right, you
fight
done.
for
Like,
the
oh my
position
God.
of
I'm
done.
doing what
Dumb ass.
So, Alex and Jack, you started today's creative brief in the face-off chairs.
Alex, your look didn't have any artistic texture, and it lacked the technical skills that we were looking for. So therefore you will be the first MUA going into the face of elimination.
So Jack, you really impressed us with your look. We liked the way you took your model from a model and turned them into living art. So for that reason, Jack, you have beat the seat.
So, one MUA didn't tell a story of an artist through their look. We felt that it was just underwhelming.
Savvy. Unfortunately, you are second MUA going into
It's giving
face-off
cute.
elimination.
Thank you, judges. Alex,
It's
Savvy, say
giving.
goodbyes.
It's
One of you
giving.
won't be returning.
I really want to say
Yeah,
this
how
competition.
to
I don't think
stitch
I've shown
braids.
everything I possibly could to the judges.
This competition means so much to me.
Get
I want to put the best
into
foot forward and I want to be shown
this
the best way I possibly
smoothness.
can.
It's definitely fine, my darling. I felt like this was giving me a little kick of the
Look back at me.
Flowers go from date.
Yep, that's
Right
perfect.
now, so I want to be a flower.
In order to decide which MUA will be going home,
All right, you
Savvy and Alex
guys.
must pull off a
We'll be back
powerful version
later.
of the classic makeup look on identical twin models.
For today's